This is the Infinity Summit Group. Truth, passion, success.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Infinity Summit Group podcast. Today is January 31st, 2022. Welcome back. I'm Noah.
Hello, my name is X.
I'm Logan.
Welcome back. Jesus Christ. All right, so you've got some big changes coming up. You're moving out. You're moving back to your parents' house, which no shame. I have lived in my parents' house most of my life.
Yep.
And then you're working on gym, getting buff.
Okay, so in all honesty, lots of shame. Shame on me.
Oh,
It's
big
sad.
shame.
I don't
Okay.
want to do it. I don't like it. But, just a quick update for everybody who doesn't know what's been going on. I'm pretty open book on what's going on in my life. So, I got a DUI recently. It's been shitty. I have to move out of my place because my roommate's trying to move into a different place. So, I can't really afford to stay there, so I got to move back. It'll be good because it's like saving money. Hopefully it'll kind of be like boot camp. Because there's a lot of rules there. Like I can't have any girls over, can't do any drugs, nothing.
Actually, that'll probably be kind of nice for you.
Exactly. Like I have nothing fun, so it's gonna be like, okay, I have to like get my shit together now instead of keep letting things get swept under the rug. So that'll be good. But
Do you have a plan or just fuck it up? Or step by step?
Plan is get out of fucking debt, save some money. Especially while I'm there, try to eat healthy because my mom's a health nut. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's perfect.
That was easy.
Exactly. It's like it's a really good environment to grow in. I like doing things on my own and trying to build up from like ground zero, but that's
You tend to
bad.
enjoy that.
I wouldn't say I enjoy it.
You tend to repeat it.
I tend to repeat it.
Something about it is enjoyable, I guess.
I don't know what it is. Still trying to figure that out, but yeah.
Sick.
No shame.
Sounds good. Rest of us, I think we're just saving money, stashing money in our whole life policies. Again, mutual whole life insurance. Muy recommend. Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. I myself I've had it for 2 years. I've maxed it out as much as I can every year. And at this point, my cash value is just over 18 grand, and my death benefit has grown by 127 grand. So it's
maxing it out. For the listeners, that means just how much money you can put in per month, essentially.
Before they start doing weird tax stuff with it.
Yeah, so basically, we've already talked about this a little bit, but for the listeners who are listening, this is our first episode. You've got the base premium. That's like the minimum you have to pay to keep that policy alive so you can have your death benefit. And then above and beyond that, you have what's called paid up additions. And so I've been maxing out both of those numbers for the past 2 years. I'm just trying to build up my cash value, build up that death benefit as quickly as I can. By the time I die, I think the policy projections death benefit should be around $3 million. So hopefully leave some good money for my kids and my wife, and definitely going to be working on getting more policies. Yeah. Going to get a policy on the baby as soon as she pops out. Got to wait 2 weeks, make sure they're going to live, and then you get a policy on them. And I think it's pretty cheap. Like you can get $1 million coverage for I think it's like $200-ish a month, depending on the health of the child. Yeah.
So worth it.
Yeah.
So worth it.
And that'll be probably their college fund and all that, where I can use that and take a loan out for college if they want to go, or trade school, or if they want to start entrepreneuring, then great.
And eventually you can throw that policy in your child's name. Where it's
Yeah.
all hers.
Yep. Eventually it'll be all hers, and it'll benefit her family as she grows up. Yep. So by the time she turns 18, I don't know if I'll give it to her at that point, but when I feel like she's old enough and can handle the policy, then she should have a pretty good death benefit and pretty darn good cash value in that policy.
And the death benefit is just You write like your significant other, your parents or whatever on that. So if you die, then all the money is going to go to them, untaxed, from my understanding.
Yeah, that's your beneficiary, exactly. And you can write multiple beneficiaries, and your death benefit will go to that person or persons upon your death.
Yes.
Although, during the first 2 years of owning the policy, they do have the right to investigate the death if someone dies in the first 2 years. Suicide is not covered in the first 2 years. I don't believe murder is either, but after the first 2 years, pretty much everything's covered. So, just a fun fact. I've asked lots of questions. I'm like, say this were to happen, you know?
Murder's not either.
I don't think so.
Wait, so
The fact is that they died, unless it's like the beneficiary murders them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's bad. But other than that, even if I was to get murdered right now by someone who's not my beneficiary, they're not going to look into it. They're just going to be like, oh, shit, he got ganked. Here's the money, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, I thought you were saying if you're murdered, they don't get the money.
yeah, that's what I thought you said too. I was like, what?
That's not right.
during the first 2 years, they can investigate the death.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
outside of that, it's pretty much just like, okay, they died, here's a check.
So get it as early as you can.
Yes, get it as early as you can in life. Yep, exactly. So that nothing crazy happens with you. You know, don't plan on getting a policy. It's actually insurance fraud if you get a policy to commit suicide or anything like that. But they won't pay it out during the first 2 years from that
What are they gonna do?
to avoid that.
Send you to jail while you're dead?
Huh?
Exactly.
Oh,
Don't
no.
give you the money.
No, they just wouldn't give you the money. Yeah,
Mm.
or say you got the policy under false pretenses. Say you've had a health history, you've got cancer or whatever, and then you get a policy on yourself without telling them you had these things. Then they can investigate it and be like, oh, he died from cancer a year later. Yeah, no. You either don't get the money or you get considerably less. You know, they would then rate you or back rate you as if you had these conditions already, and then give the money, whatever remained, if any. So, but enough about life insurance. Let's talk a little bit about actually. I think we already updated on your guys' life insurance last time, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah, I've got $6,000 in cash value.
Death benefit.
We're like
The death benefit, somewhere in the 600,000.
Fuck yeah. You
identical to him.
okay? You guys got the. So I got it right before they changed the rules, but then they changed it for you guys, and you have. I think they structured it so that there's a little bit less cash value, but way more death benefit. Does that sound about right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's so nice. I'm excited to get more death benefit for my policies.
absolutely.
Yoked. Sick.
Very nice.
Let's talk about just a tiny bit of current events. Jump right into Canada.
Love it.
Longest fucking convoy ever. Guinness Book of World Records was 7.5 kilometers for a convoy. This one was over 70 kilometers. And now they're in
growing.
Ottawa. And growing, yes.
Well, let's tell the audience why they're protesting and why they're even there in the first place.
Oh, yes.
I have a fun fact about this too. Well, I'll just take over. So they're protesting having a vaccine mandate. Fun fact though, they're guesstimating that 80 to 90% of the people there, like the truckers and all that, they're all vaccinated. So it's not anti-vaxxers, it's just anti-mandate. Which is very shocking and interesting.
Very interesting. I was talking to my instructor today, and he said he got the COVID vaccine. He was fine before it, and after the COVID vaccine, he can't like any food that he smells like shit. I'm like,
What?
whoa, bro. Yeah,
That's
'cause
crazy.
That's
I mean,
super shitty.
generally how vaccines work is they give you the virus.
Mhm.
That was. Thank you,
Glad he
Logan.
caught on. Took a while.
You know, they give you a small version of the virus. You get ill a little bit, and then you won't get ill later on.
I thought it was different with this one because it
It
changes
is.
your DNA.
It is a little different, at least with some of them. I don't know exactly. Like, we'll make a whole different podcast on all the ingredients and how they actually work and everything.
Oh yeah, we are gonna go into that.
Yeah, and we'll look more into that. But yes, I do know that at least some of them are mRNA technology, and so it goes into your DNA and tells your DNA to make the antibodies for it. I don't like things that change my DNA.
No.
That's how you get cancer and stuff. So
Hmm.
Anyway, back to the convoy.
yes,
Justin Trudeau, he's like the president or whatever.
Prime Minister?
Prime Minister,
That's what they
Canada.
call him over there. He went into hiding.
He also
Claimed he
COVID.
got COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a good excuse for hiding. He's also the one who does blackface. Did blackface.
Like 4 times. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well done,
yeah,
Mr.
pictures.
Trudeau.
Everything. Just never got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I thought he was a
I don't
good
think
little
you
boy.
should get in trouble for it. It's
No,
just
do I.
dressing up. But
But
anyway.
No, but it's the political
standard.
climate.
Yeah,
Like,
of
how
course.
How is that okay now?
Yeah.
It's not.
We need some people doing whiteface. Oh, wait, clowns.
Oh, shit.
Exactly. Either way, yeah, they're there. They got $10 million in funding, all the truckers. And I think their accounts were frozen or something.
On yeah, they did a GoFundMe and raised over $10 million, and GoFundMe froze the account.
Yeah.
As well as I
yeah.
think the city of Ottawa is suing them to try and get the $10 million from the GoFundMe to appropriate it for damages to the city.
Even though there's
What
been zero
damages?
damages,
Yeah, no one's been hurt, nothing.
nobody's been hurt. They've been placing nails on the road, nails and screws and stuff.
Who's
to try-
they?
I think it was like the
And
police and stuff.
Oh, is it police?
I thought it was like people that worked there and stuff. I mean, I could be wrong on that. We can
Jesus
find out,
Christ.
but
Either way, that didn't stop them at all.
Nah.
So yeah, and then I believe they said they have enough food to stay there for between 2 and 4 years,
Whoa, what?
and that was as of yesterday. And all of them are saying we're gonna stay here until they release the mandate. And now the Canadian and U.S. border is blocked off by Canadian and U.S. truckers, and there are convoys all across the world now that are doing the same thing.
So what? Do they have enough food because of the like?
People donating.
Oh, okay. How do they get it up there? Just driving up there with like a bunch of food and just dropping it off?
well,
I
they
don't
are
even
truckers.
That's true. They are truckers. Yeah, they're
So are
probably
they
all-
stealing the food from their own trucks?
That's what I was wondering.
I wouldn't doubt it. But is that stealing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing as the peaceful rioters. That's not peaceful. That's rioting and stealing. You know?
Well, if they can get $10 million, it's not too crazy to assume.
Yeah,
can
if
get
they
some
can
food.
if they can fund like their employers and stuff for that. I don't know if these truckers are employed, if they're self-employed, whatever. But yeah, if they can cash out all those damages, quote unquote, then they'll be fine.
What would they do if like say they had like a truck full of bananas and they had to reach a certain place at a certain time before they went before they went bad, you know? Is that like
That's probably on purpose that they park their trucks there because they're trying to cause economic distress.
Nanas go bad, bruv.
yeah, they're
I
going to
bet
go
they
bad,
just-
but who gets blamed for that? The truckers or the
Probably.
The truckers, yeah,
do
but
they have to
that's-
pay for
I
it?
bet that's part of their protest.
Probably. Yeah.
I'll
That
bet
they
you a lot of the
will shut
businesses
down
that
everything.
these truckers are coming from are like,
Just send
Full
them.
support.
Fucking send it.
yes, and I bet you
Because
they'll-
they don't want to mandate vaccines.
It's also going to be worse because the vaccine mandate is what this is saying is every time they cross the border. So every time they cross the border, they'd have to quarantine for whatever 10 days, and it would take
Oh my
so
Jeebus.
long to go
Oh
back
yeah.
and forth.
All
It
the
would-
trucking companies are probably getting on that.
You'd it's probably like California that people won't deliver to California anymore.
Dude, we've already noticed like supply shortages out here. I don't know if it's from that. Probably not from that, but like everything is going missing. We can't get
100%
anything.
Supply
it is
shortages
from that.
everywhere.
I don't know if it's from this convoy specifically, but yeah, absolutely is from the disruption.
Truckers
But-
everywhere doing convoys.
Dude, this is the best way to protest. It's peaceful. I guess besides stealing their own food in their trucks.
People starve.
Yeah, but it's like such a show of power for the people. For the people, by the people.
Well, who's starving though? It's just kind of like mildly inconvenient for people. Like some people go to a wing place and they're like, "Oh, we're out of wings." It's like, oh,
Right.
well, that
Because
sucks.
we
but,
haven't noticed the backlash yet.
Right. We
It'll
haven't
come
seen. We haven't
like the full
seen
potential of not having
economic
food.
impacts. No. No, you might start seeing grocery stores run out again, things like that.
I
People are
think
going to start panicking.
We're in a better state for it as well. If we had lived in an area with bigger cities and stuff, it'd be a lot worse.
Oh yeah,
True.
we're
'Cause,
fine.
like,
I mean,
yeah, California and New York, those are way bad to live in. They're just gonna people just stop going there.
our families also all have that doomsday prepper in them just a little bit, so we'll be okay. You know.
You know, I was talking to my dad about that the other day. I've only ever heard of Americans doing that.
It's we're
Because-
smart.
The rest of them are used to it. They're always in doomsday prep mode.
You've never ever heard
point.
of anyone prepping for food or
true, I
a
haven't
bad
heard of that.
outcome. Only in America.
That's true.
I mean, I'm sure there's some, but it's like a big thing in America.
Does everybody
Well-
else just trust their government or something?
I have no idea.
I think where it stems from is going to be the Great Depression. People started, running out of stuff, not having food, not having jobs, things like that. And we're only 2 generations away from that, if that.
It's also a huge Mormon thing.
Oh, prep it. Oh, okay. That makes
Like,
sense.
The church has been spouting, food storage for forever. Have
Huh.
food storage.
Is it because they think the end of the world or the apocalypse is coming?
I have no idea.
Well, there's all sorts of preppy stuff, like have your coffee can of silver, have this and this, That's been part of the Mormon teaching, which is actually very interesting. That's kind of where our ancestries come from, so that makes sense. Because everybody I know preps in one way or another.
Extra food,
Yeah.
anything.
Yep. And I'll be doing it too at my house. I'll have the stash.
Absolutely.
It's been on my mind thinking of how I'm gonna buy a shit ton of food, bunch of storage.
Yeah, dude.
Start now.
Yeah,
It's expensive, man.
one piece at a time, baby.
I bought my parents 2 30-day meal things.
Yeah.
And it was like $400.
Yeah.
Well, skip beans, my guy.
Well, this was like juice and potatoes. It was a real nice thing.
Good
but
stuff.
Yeah, those
Nice.
are cool setups.
It's just
Yeah.
expensive.
Russia and Ukraine, it's still heating up. As of yesterday.
Did we finish talking about the convoys? Well, I guess you said they're all over the world, but they're like in Australia, Germany,
India,
UK, India, just fucking everywhere.
literally everywhere.
Yeah, I heard Sydney's doing it now.
UK
too.
took off their vax mandates. Did we talk about that one?
I
UK
think we
did?
mentioned it last
yeah,
time.
the UK got
didn't
rid of
know
their vax mandate. Yep.
Yep. There was something else. Something big.
Oh, we were going to talk about bodily autonomy with shots.
Well,
No, it was
what?
about the whole trucker stuff. I can't remember. Either way.
The thing
Oh.
is, it's gonna suck for a minute, but I think this is a cool thing. It's sick.
Oh, it's
good.
way cool. It's like, okay, finally the working class, the people who actually bring in the dough are speaking up instead of the people who are just going wanting free loot,
Mhm.
It's like, nah, adults are in town. Let's figure this out,
Yeah, the truckers are just the red blood cells. Like if the world was a body,
Oh, yeah,
and the
dude.
minute you shut down that, you're fucked.
Also, rumor has it that the truckers in Ottawa plan on going down to D.C. afterwards.
I hope so.
So it's
That'll be sick.
anti-convoy radicals are throwing nails in the road. So I was wrong.
Anti-convoy radicals.
Antifa.
What the hell is
What?
that?
That's just what the news thing says.
I identify as anti-convoyist.
Yeah, what?
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, they're just honking their horns, causing traffic jams.
Having a party.
Yeah,
I'll be on top of the truck.
Yeah.
It is a huge detriment to society, but at the same time, their wallets start getting hit in those big cities and stuff, and they're gonna change their tune real quick.
Well, that and
Shit, maybe we shouldn't mandate.
when the regular families can't feed their kids, you wake up the adults. It's gonna get weird, and hopefully it doesn't get violent. But
Did we talk about Joe Rogan too?
Not yet.
That whole thing is interesting.
But yeah, once you start seeing that happen, this is gonna go one of two ways. You're gonna get a vaccine mandate off, or it's gonna go into military regime over there in Canada, and they're gonna kill anybody who opposes it.
I
Essentially,
put my money on military regime.
Me
before.
too.
I don't think so.
Well, that's where I'd put my money first.
Yeah, I'll bet you they try to get the police, their Canada National Guard, whatever, in there to dispel these protests before they submit to no vaccine mandates.
Don't they just
Probably,
ride
but-
horses? Does Canada even have a military?
Good point.
Yeah, let me go grab my horse, eh?
Here, get out of the way.
I'm
Get out
sure
of the
they
road,
have-
bud.
Get your fucking knackers back where you came from. I'm sure they have a military.
I think they have a pretty decent one.
Yeah, they're
No,
part of
they'll-
NATO.
Yeah, they'll send them overseas and stuff.
Yep.
They were founded by the French, though, so I don't know if they're any good. But, the French are famous for their white flag. But
Are they? In history, have they just
Yeah,
given
but-
up everything? Always.
every time people are coming to their rescue. But we have a soft spot for them because they helped us originally in the Revolutionary War. So we still respect the French. But it's just
That's me
funny.
for sure.
There.
Who gave us the Statue of Liberty?
France?
America.
Was it
No,
France?
it wasn't
Thought it was
America.
France.
I don't know. Let's double check
I
that.
thought it was France.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because we came and like saved their asses, and they're like, "Oh, thank you." And then we're like, "That thing is ugly as shit." They're like,
Well,
"Oh,
I thought it was the inspiration. We were the inspiration for their revolutions too.
We were the inspiration for their revolution.
the French Revolution."
Mhm.
Uh-huh. They just
Yep.
did it much more.
So you had
violently.
the Marquis de Lafayette that came over and helped us out with our revolution, and then he went back home and was one of the main creators of the revolution over there. And he ended up getting done dirty by the French in the end. But
I think
he, yeah,
Americans. Who showed up to his funeral? I think it was a couple Americans.
Probably. Wouldn't be
Like,
surprised.
he's super influential back in
Yeah,
the day in
he was
America.
like George Washington's son, basically. You know, his adoptive son. They had a real tight bond. But
So what happened? Why did it get done dirty? Did you just go back and then spark some shit, and then they're like, "Oh, we're turning on you"?
yeah, he was sparking shit, and the fact that he was a revolutionary was sparking shit. I think they put him in jail for a number of years. They kept, I think, Lafayette's son came over to America and was like working on trying to get him back over here for a while and like go and visit him, whatever. I don't know the whole story, but eventually he ended up dying over there.
I'd love to do a podcast about him.
Yeah, Lafayette is like, he should be considered one of the fathers of our country.
Yeah, he's a huge reason we won the Revolutionary War.
Uh-huh. He's the one who came over, did a bunch of our military training, brought us weapons, supplies, everything from the French. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but
We
It
would
was
have Jim
France,
on
by
to
the
talk about that.
that'd be cool. I hope he's still living.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in forever.
Probably is.
He's a good guy, though. He probably is. I'm sure he could bring some cool stuff over about Lafayette.
Yeah, he's got a couple of things that he showed us when we went over there for Lafayette.
Yeah. It's true. You guys brought up something.
Joe Rogan.
Russia.
Yeah, a couple of things really.
Yeah.
Well, you can do Joe Rogan and Bodily Autonomy because that's still COVID stuff, and then we can talk
Yeah.
about Russia. That works.
Word.
Sick.
Do Russia first, and then just because
It'll be quick.
Joe Rogan and
All right, Russia will be quick. Quick
Okay.
Russia interjection.
As of yesterday, 195,000 Russian troops are at the Ukraine border. I think there's 3 sides that they're at right now. Is that true?
I have no idea.
Either way, don't quote me on that. Russia said that they can wipe out the Ukraine military in 48 hours. NATO rejected all of Putin's demands, and Putin was demanding. Basically, he has all power over NATO, and he can control what they do, and NATO can't like recruit any new countries. And NATO is just the alliance, the West alliance. That's like with the UK and
It's
Australia.
basically America.
It's National Association of Development Organizations.
Yes,
Is that right?
and I think it was created.
After World War II.
Yeah, but because of the Soviet Union. Is that true? Will you look that up? Why it was
Sounds-
created?
Wait.
Fight communism, basically.
Yeah, essentially. Either way, they rejected all of Putin's demands. America is pulling out our just like our regular citizens, so they're doing a little better than Afghanistan so far.
So far,
Yeah, so far.
not a lot of
Trust
trust there.
Yeah, exactly. But they're keeping like the ambassadors. I would assume that's what
Confidence was the word I was looking for, not trust. Not a lot of confidence in.
No, there's like 0% of that. So yeah, they're just keeping the people that are a necessity to be there. Some of the countries in NATO are sending special forces to Ukraine, and then the rest of NATO is just like getting their troops prepared, and also sending just regular forces over there to Ukraine.
It's no good.
No. And also, I'm not sure why everyone's eyes are on Russia when their economy is shit and we could absolutely slap them the fuck around. But there's China, an absolute bear that's sitting in the corner that's going to take over Taiwan the minute Russia invades Ukraine, because we're all going to be distracted on that.
Mm-hmm.
And Hong Kong. They haven't taken over Hong Kong, no.
They were welding doors shut in Hong Kong during COVID. So
Oh, so fucking maybe
Let
that.
them die, let them die.
yeah, I don't think technically, but I would.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it because they're right in the middle of their country.
True. So yeah, basically that, and then China's gonna take Taiwan, and then we need chips and stuff. They're the chips for like our cars, our computers, all that stuff. Since Taiwan is basically gonna be
China.
taken over, by China, and that's where we get all of our chips from.
So basically, any
now-
electronic,
Yeah,
everyone needs it.
they now made I think it was $36 billion bill to start making chip manufacturers in America, but those take years to build. So hopefully we can last years, but it's going to be freaky.
What about pharmaceuticals? Because we had a big issue with that in COVID. I know they talked about bringing that back, but that was Trump, and then kind
Medicines
of got
and
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
Do we
Doubt
get
it.
our medicine from China too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything.
We
got
we
China.
have so much stuff from China that's what I mean. It's no wonder why we don't talk about them. We let them get away with all this shit, the Uyghur Muslims and all that jazz. It's just like we have so much invested over there, manufacturing, jobs outsourced, whatever. We have so much revenue coming from there that they've got our hands tied.
That's
Economically.
fucked.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah. What happens if we start a war with them and all the supplies just they
Then
stop
we're
supplying?
fucked.
Yeah.
That's why Trump was trying to get everything back in America. He's like,
So we had
quick.
the energy independence going on, and Biden immediately put an end to that.
Yep, he had all of our oil working on getting that independent, everything, and Biden shut it all down.
From what I understand, Trump was basically there. America didn't need any other country to get energy, and then Biden shut that shit down immediately.
Yeah, they're also building, like aid camps, like where they help soldiers that are wounded.
Like first aid camps or
Yeah, exactly. They're building those all
Red Cross?
along. Yeah, essentially, they're building those all along the Ukraine-Russia border.
This has been happening for years. This was happening since when Trump was in office.
Yeah, I understand that, but now it's fucking here.
It's escalated.
It's
It's time.
escalating rather
we don't
quickly.
got a strong
Yeah.
president, in my
Nope.
opinion. Leader
Bless
of
you.
the free world
Thank
is
you.
weak as hell.
Yeah.
Can't even
What
make a
free
sentence.
world?
Yeah, true.
But definitely.
So there's that. Cool.
We'll see how that goes. I heard Kazakhstan is one of the world's largest suppliers of uranium. And I thought they supplied, it was like 20 or 30% of the world's uranium. And they're right all over in there as well. So if that ends up going south, we've got multiple venture companies that are exploring uranium in the United States and Canada. That should be going online before too long, a couple years. So
That'd be interesting.
it's interesting, yeah. All the the company that I'm in right now, it's called Denison Mines. They've been stockpiling uranium. They just buy uranium, and they've been stockpiling it while they're getting their mines online. They should be mining around 2024, 25-ish. And, yeah, that'll be interesting to see if Kazakhstan gets involved in all that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will. It's right there. And if Russia takes one country, they're gonna get that little high and keep going.
Yeah.
They're going to go for Africa, too. I think they have the largest growing economy.
Yeah.
Africa?
Yeah.
Africa is the, what is it,
Untamed.
Yeah, kind of, but basically, there's untapped wealth there that, like,
It's
the Sahara Desert itself is as big as the United States.
Yeah, it's huge and gorgeous once you get lower and everything.
Yeah, they've got so many minerals and everything there, natural resources. So that's going to be, over the coming 100 years, that's going to be the major push right there. Because the rest of the countries are civilized. You're going to have your takeovers, whatever. But that's going to be where the wealth's getting unlocked in the coming years. And shout out to Cardano. That's literally their platform, is to unlock the wealth of Africa
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
via
You never
peer-to-peer
hear about
lending.
Africa ever.
Nope.
Because it's shitty.
Well, yeah, but
It's
like,
really nice, but it's
nobody
shitty
fights
there.
with them. Nobody takes them over. Like,
Because they got like warlords and shit though. Like.
yeah,
getting
but that would be way easier
robbed.
though. You just come in, take one out at a time. You got it.
Crypto's working on bringing capitalism to Africa via peer-to-peer lending.
That would be sick.
Cardano especially, I know, has peer-to-peer lending for Africa, and they've funded multiple projects, and they're, yeah.
You know
That's
where
a
else?
cool one.
I reckon is going to be I'll bet you the U.S. will try to take over, in a way, is Mexico. Because if the U.S. doesn't do it, they're so full of minerals and shit that's not mined as well.
Really?
Because
And-
it's just drugs.
Yeah,
Cartel's not
as
getting
of
the
right
money.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the U.S. is worried that China is going to come from Mexico. So I think the U.S. is going to start going from Mexico.
How can they, though? They'd get so rejected from people because it's like
Sanctions?
if anyone takes over any country, everybody hates them. Because
Yeah,
like, you
but-
just fucked up their way of life.
I think
Shit.
we were
Mexico's
if we
already
start
moving
with-
into the U.S. Like,
Exactly.
We were watching a podcast as well that most illegal, like, Chinese people and their spies and shit, they come in from the southern border. They don't,
really?
because they go through Mexico because it's easier.
Huh.
Hmm.
All I know is last I heard there was about 2 million Mexicans coming over every year.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That is a lot.
The U.S. government is human trafficking.
Yes.
What?
Biden, when all those convoys came, he was having planes come over and ship them all across the U.S. so that you wouldn't see it on the news.
They're still doing
What?
that. Bus fulls, airplane fulls.
Yeah, sending them to,
After
like, Tennessee, Montana, everywhere. Just shipping them everywhere
Af-
so that
yep.
they're not all in one place.
Fuck's happening?
after the airports are shut down and stuff,
Yeah.
then they film up and send them to different states.
Wait, like people, illegal
Yeah.
slaves?
Illegal immigrants?
Illegal immigrants,
Oh.
they're literally human trafficking.
What the fuck?
I never even heard about this. What the
I didn't
fuck?
either. Where did we hear about this?
There's a couple
It's
news articles
everywhere.
about it. Tim Pool will talk about it occasionally.
Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, like all of them.
That's insane.
Yeah, I want to say there was a court case about it not too long ago.
Huh.
Might be blowing smoke, but I'm pretty positive I've seen a court case about it.
I didn't see a court case, but you're probably right.
We can
That
look and see.
that is something I did not know.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Jesus Christ.
And that's been going on.
Am I surprised? No.
Hell no. What's next?
I don't know if anything would surprise me at this point.
You know what scares me though about if we do go to war with Russia and China, it's you always have to top each other,
Yep.
and it's gonna top at nuclear warfare. Who's gonna be the first one to shoot it?
Well, the U.S. has been the only one to pop nukes off in history.
I understand that, but the rest of them have the capabilities, and you're not gonna stop. You have to one up each other every fucking time. Whether it's bombs or military, like whatever it is. Are we gonna stop at nuclear bombs or?
I honestly don't know that we'll see nukes because everybody knows that is just absolute destruction.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's guaranteed destruction. Yeah, mass
Mutual
assured
assured.
destruction. Yeah, or mutual assured destruction. Thank you.
That's the thing where everybody releases their
Yeah.
nukes at the same time.
Right.
Which is why I don't think it would happen either. But also, what the fuck?
I'm
You
just
got
wondering-
fucking Xi Jinping, and then you've Vladimir Putin and Joe Biden. Who knows what's pushing? I hope not.
Joe Biden's pushing a turd in his diaper.
Joe Biden's gonna fucking
I
drop
don't
his ice
even
cream
know.
cone on the red button, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that would be brutal.
That'd be vicious.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like everybody knows that nukes exist, right? I'm wondering what they have that we don't know exists. What's the Manhattan Project they're working on right now? You know?
Probably Inception.
Dark matter, so
Right.
shit blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking who
Stuff like
knows?
that. Or you've heard of what's it? I don't know. Basically, it was a technology that is rumored to disintegrate metal.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
9/11. Oh.
Yeah. And it's in that book. It's called Where Did the Towers Go?
Yeah. Vanished.
Because they turned into dust,
Yeah.
which was interesting.
And that's not right.
Correct. So,
I want to try this
Yes.
year. Apparently, if you get close enough to Area 51, then they use it's like the microwave gun or whatever
microwave gun on you?
before you get close enough to where they can shoot you. So I think that'd be cool to get hit by it.
I feel
Wouldn't
like
that give you
your
cancer?
insides are cooking.
Yeah, that's why it'd be cool. Be like, wow, I'm heating up for no reason. I'm gonna move.
I'm about to explode.
Yeah. There's aliens.
So this on the immigrant thing said the immigrants were paying $2,000 per person to the cartel to get them into America, and then they were getting flights all over the world, or all over the U.S., which they call them ghost flights because they're not technically on there, but shouldn't be able to because no ID, no nothing. You're just flying them around.
Ghost flights. I'm trying to think how that would work.
No, but it
They
is
get-
working. They've got video of it.
Yeah.
Regular pilots like you, and they
Yeah.
probably fucking
They're
bribe
probably
them,
just
and
getting
then
paid to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, I'm happy to take a bus full,
Probably.
a
I
flying
mean,
bus."
if they offered, how much money would you? If they offered you money?
No,
probably
because I
just
do
your-
not support that.
You probably don't know. Your company's just like, we got a flight that's late. You want to take it? And they probably do.
Very
That's
possible.
awesome. Yeah. Damn, America's fucked up. And we talk about corruption in other countries. Look at us.
Look at the whole world.
Everything.
We're all playing in the mud.
I think one of us should run for president.
No.
Maybe
No.
one
I don't want to
I
run
think
for
not.
president, dude.
I'd love
I don't want to be somebody else's puppet at the point of a gun.
Don't be the puppet. We can eat the bullet like JFK.
That's the problem.
Worth it.
I have a family now.
I don't. Either way, interesting stuff. And who knows what'll happen by next Monday.
Yeah, let's what was about next Monday that I missed?
The next podcast.
Oh,
We
okay,
might be
okay.
in war.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Joe Rogan. Spotify.
Yeah, so... Well, do you want to carry this?
Oh, sure. Neil Young said to Spotify, it's either me or Joe Rogan. Spotify said, okay, bye.
There was a couple artists that came out.
Yeah, there's a couple
Yeah,
more
there's
now.
been a few of them following in his footsteps, but it's still like,
Makes me want to buy Spotify stock.
yeah, me
Does,
too.
Does everybody just hate Joe Rogan now or something?
Unheard artist.
Just
No,
famous people.
it's because they think he's anti-vax, which he is. Well, I
He's not
wouldn't say
anti-vax,
he is.
He's skeptical.
Yeah, he's skeptical. He's like,
Ways-
he's basically preaching learn the truth before you get the vax.
As far as it seems like he's anti-COVID vax right now.
Yes.
Not even permanently. Just
For
until
now.
they figure out what it does long
He's
term.
super lefty. Like, I've heard a lot of his podcasts.
he's
he's
real left.
super left.
UBI and everything.
Yeah. Which, for the listeners, UBI is universal basic income. That's like when you're under communism or socialism, government gives you money each month, and, yeah, gives it to everybody.
He's about that.
Uh-huh.
Which is weird.
It's like a
Seems
stimulus
weird.
check every month.
He's gotten like 150 million, 200 million from Spotify. That's odd.
Yeah.
Because he got the 100 million for the contract, and they also gave him a bunch of stock.
Oh, did they?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So it'd be like 150, 2 million, 200 million.
fuck.
He
That's
earned
nice.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most popular podcaster in the world. I
Yeah.
think most watched program, like news or just program in the world.
Good.
Isn't it like 11 million viewers per episode?
Holy shit.
I'm not sure, but
I think it was
sounds
somewhere around there.
I would way rather him be the most viewed versus these other news sources.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
And that's crazy that everybody's trying to silence him now. Like, get him off
Yeah.
Spotify, get him off these big...
Which
Yep.
who do they think they are when Spotify literally paid him $100 million just to be on there, and you think you're
You think you're the shit, bro?
Neil Young? Never even heard of you.
I've heard his name, but I don't... What does he do?
He makes good music. I was really sad. Like, when he did that, I was all, fuck, now I can't listen to your stuff with a good conscience.
No, he just went to the moon. That was him.
Huh?
Neil Armstrong. But Joe Rogan came out on Instagram. It was like a 10-minute video ish. He was saying sorry, he didn't mean to be super controversial, whatever. And if he gets a controversial person on his podcast, he's now going to get another person on the opposite side right after that. So he's kind of conforming to the left, which is bad because they're not going to stop now that they
Well-
smell blood.
It's a compromise, at least.
Yeah, it's a compromise. He's doing his best not to get canceled, I think.
Dude, he can't be canceled. Joe
it
could
would
not
be
be canceled.
fucking brutal. Yeah, all he would do is be like, I'm moving to this site now, and everybody.
Yeah.
He did that. They did it to Gab or something, and he got 100,000 people to join up in a day because he got off Twitter. And
Gab is sick. Gab is awesome.
He's
I haven't used it
unstoppable.
yet, but
Is it an app?
yeah, it's like a social media app,
Huh.
but their terms and conditions is the First Amendment,
No, that's sick.
basically. Yeah.
That's cool.
Everyone else has these standard terms and conditions that most of the social media platforms use. You know, you can be canceled at any time for any reason. And Gab is like First Amendment, obey it. And
I don't know if it was Gab.
Yeah. Was it Gab? Was it not Gab?
That he went to? I don't think it
Oh.
was.
Well, Gab's badass anyway, because Gab is that company. But I just
Gab
watched
is
the
cool.
podcast with the CEO of Gab, or like the founder.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Pretty sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what Joe Rogan is really preaching is
Oh, Getter. He went to Getter.
Okay.
double check
I am.
between Gab and Getter.
He's a Getter.
No, like
what's the
which
difference?
one?
I want to say Getter. Tim Pool talked about it. It's basically the exact same as Twitter. Same rules and everything.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But
Anyway.
I'll double check too.
So, this brings up the conversation of bodily autonomy, choosing to have a vaccine or not. Yes, that's kind of what Joe Rogan is supporting, I think, is like, nah, you choose, bro. You don't be forced into this stuff because it's not right.
It's not right.
But the bodily autonomy thing has been a controversial topic since abortions. So, you know.
Well, how are they all my body, my choice for abortion, and then a vaccine that's killing, or not the vaccine that's killing people?
Our body, our choice.
Yeah, it's like, what? How does that work?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Make up your mind.
It's just whatever fits what they want.
Do you have bodily
Want it to
autonomy
fit.
or do you not have bodily autonomy, you know?
Mm-hmm. I reckon we do. I hope
Yeah,
we do.
I think so. But the classic question with abortion is, when does the baby get bodily autonomy? You know?
Heartbeat or before?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on people's definitions of life. I'd like to think upon conception.
That's what I think.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, minus the very small amount of people who are like the outliers, you know, people that get raped or whatever the hell, then for the most part, you're choosing to have sex. You know the consequences.
You know what I seen the other day, which was
Accept 'em.
absolutely horrendous to me?
What?
Is this chick was talking to this dude about, they were debating about abortion live on air,
Mm-hmm.
and she took a pill to have an abortion on air.
What the fuck?
Smiling, see, I just took an abortion. Smiling, laughing, and I was like, no fucking way. You could just watch.
Was it like a Plan B pill?
I don't know. No, it was
okay.
something different.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
I was gonna
just-
say Plan B doesn't cause that, but if she was like
No,
trying
it
to make a
was-
statement,
Specifically for that.
fucking hell.
Doesn't
That's-
Plan B just work for like a day or two after you have
Yeah,
sex?
it's supposed to.
I think it's
stop,
up
right?
to 72 hours, and what it does anatomically is it just thickens the mucous membrane inside that area, and so the sperms can't swim good, so it stops pregnancy.
See, I have no issue with contraceptives. I
Yeah.
have an issue with once it's done, it's done.
Right. Agreed. And of the of the contraceptives I know of, none of them hurt the baby if conception happens. You know?
Well, because it's a cell at that point.
Right.
Can't hurt a cell.
I mean, you can, but
Yeah.
not supposed to. So, yeah, I used to be, you know, pro-choice, but now that I've got a kid on the way and stuff, I realize I'm like, no, that baby is its own life form.
Mm-hmm.
Have the baby, suffer your 9 months or whatever. If you really want to, adopt it out, get rid of it. But that's your choice, you know. That's where your choice comes,
But-
not to kill the life.
Then comes the question, adoption. It's so fucking much money that the majority of people can't do it. They're in the foster system till they're 18, and then they're just kicked out onto the streets. And what do?
That's a whole separate thing.
That's the thing,
but
though.
So
yeah.
it's almost
I
a
think-
waste of life either way.
Not really, though, because I've thought about that, too. I was like, I thought about it deeply once. I was like, okay, if I was adopted out, and if I didn't have parents, would I rather be dead or have a kind of rough start to life? I'd rather have a rough start to life.
As much as shitty to say that,
Yeah.
as long as you've been, I guess, mentored or have at least somewhat of a good mindset, that would be a semi-decent start because you've got a lot of hard knocks in already.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't say it's a good start, but it's better than, I don't know, not
Better
being
than not
alive.
starting.
Yeah, in my opinion. But I also never had to live through that, so who knows?
And the chance that that person was born, it's crazy. Like, out of all those sperm cells, like, you were the one that got there. I don't know. I think
adoption could be easier, but the issue with making it easier is you don't want shitty parents. If you're choosing, you want to choose good people, you know?
just make foster care better.
Right.
Because I've heard a lot of people say foster care is, like, terrible.
That's what I've heard
One
too.
of our teachers, I think Miss Gillis, she was a foster teacher. Or
Oh,
foster,
really?
If not a foster mom, was working on it.
Well, what happens a lot of time in these foster homes is they get credits per child that they foster, and so they'll foster as many kids as possible, not raise them in any manner that's good, like an actual parent, and just, you know, give them off once they're adopted. Basically, it's not my problem. I just get this credit from the government for having these foster kids.
Like their number.
So there's
Right.
there's better ways to do it.
Right, they're a revenue source instead of people actually wanting to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. That's such a complex thing. Because how do you know you found good people?
Yeah, and it'd be hard to be a foster parent too, because these kids are going in and out, in and out.
Uh-huh.
You know, you don't know how long they're with you. It's just like, yeah, that'd be brutal.
There's not. I don't
So-
know. I don't say there's any good way to do it other than muddling through it as best you can.
Yeah.
And I guess that's got to be the reason it's expensive as heck.
Moral of the story, though, the basis of it is that life is better than not life.
Life before death.
Yes, the way of kings.
Oh yeah.
Journey before destination.
Strength before weakness. We know it.
Yeah, I used to be quite pro-choice.
I was
like,
too.
2 months ago, and then once I started dating my girlfriend, she's like super anti that, and it is good to see a different perspective because I was like, fucking kill the baby, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, yeah, it is a life, and seeing Stockton's baby, it's like
Oh yeah.
so adorable. Then you guys growing a child,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said before, I would never support an abortion. I don't want it, but everyone else fucking tear it
You know,
up, and now I'm like, I'm not such a big fan.
You know what we could do? Those people who have unwanted pregnancies or things like that, or rape victims, whatever, have a fund that people can contribute to, much like under Medicare or something, where it takes care of them financially, anything they might need during that time, so they can have the child and take it to full term and all that, have it healthy, and then if they still want to give it up, they can. If they want to keep it, they can.
How would you
Yeah.
regulate?
I think that'd be cool.
Regulate that and make sure they're using it for just that.
Um,
Because I wouldn't want
I
to give my
don't know.
money to somebody who's gonna go take it and then
Proof.
fucking
No, yeah,
They
you,
buy
have rape
lottery
kit-
tickets.
you'd
Well,
need.
they have rape kits and everything.
No, not that. I'm saying, how do you know?
How do you know they're using the money for that?
just
You know?
I think it's
Oh.
the same thing with all charity. For the most part, you gotta. If it's not a government program, saying
Yeah.
I would personally would rather that be charity, but then it's the same
Agreed.
thing with all charities. Is you're giving it with faith that they're gonna do the right thing.
Fuck it. Have the churches fund these charities.
They would. Some of them, I think. I mean, I think it's Christians are like the largest donators in the world. I don't think it would be a very hard thing to get people to pay into that.
I don't
to
think
make
so
sure
either.
that kids are brought to term and
Yeah.
taken care of for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'd have a tremendous amount of support.
I would
so
donate.
too.
But yeah, that's something that I
Sure.
would have no issue putting money into.
Yeah, if I could see where my money was going, where you're investing in life rather than death,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be sick. Or just take all the money we're using for abortion clinics, and abortions, like, people will still have them. I mean, I don't know if it's considered an abortion at this point, but when it's the mom or the baby, right?
I think
Those are going to be your fringe. Those are going to be your edge cases where it's like, at that point, it's a family decision. Like, okay, what do we want to do? You know?
To be fair, I would say if it's the mom or the baby, to let the mom live because then she can, you and the mom can create more life.
I think
Unless
I'd rather,
she loses her uterus.
I mean, this is me personally, but I think I'd rather the baby, not like
Well,
as
that's
taking one over the other, but
The
you
baby
knew the risks going in, kind of thing, and you decided anyways.
Fair enough.
The baby
And
would have
also,
more life.
I think that specific conversation is to be had within each family,
Yeah.
honestly.
That's a
'cause-
person-to-person thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
For me, I'd go with the baby. And I've always been this way with you give the person with the most life left to live.
Yeah, most potential for life.
But
That's fair, but then they're being raised by a single father.
Yeah.
You
A
know?
depressed
like we
father.
said, better than nothing.
Right, yeah.
But yeah. Like
Just
you said,
all depends.
person to person, family to family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It'd be a hard decision either way.
Be a horrendous
It'd be
decision.
so hard, yeah.
Yeah, with that power of attorney, you'd have a rough
Essentially, you're
decision.
killing someone either way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, hopefully that never happens.
Yeah, I've heard of cases where the wife passes out from blood loss or whatever, and they're like, "Okay, it's either you or the baby, or your wife or the baby. Husband, make the decision." It's like, fuck.
Be bad.
That's a shitty situation.
It'd be tough.
Tough thing
You know?
too is
Then the wife wakes up without a baby and without a uterus. What are they going to say to the husband?
does that ruin
Yeah.
the relationship?
Oh,
Do they
yeah.
kill themselves later?
Possibly.
I bet there's a good chance of that, or the dad killing themselves because they had to kill their wife or their kid.
Yep.
Oh, I bet it's
And the wife's
horrendous.
pissed at him when they wake up. It's like,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
There's
Oh, yeah.
there's no winning in that
You
situation.
No.
killed my baby.
yeah. All right, I'll just let me just go eat some lead. Yeah.
Definitely no winning in that. I
No.
bet death rates after that are like tremendously high.
Probably.
Suicide rates.
But again, fringe cases.
Yeah.
So
How often does that happen?
Probably so rare.
do you think so?
I'll bet with
I
all
bet-
the
well,
medical
there's
stuff that we have
7
nowadays.
billion people on Earth. I just think
What's
it's
it-
more than you think, but it's still like.
what's the
not
medical
a ton.
term when they get when
Yeah.
they get their uterus taken out?
No idea.
Is that I want to say it's a lobotomy.
No,
That's your brain.
That's the brain thing.
Where they
where
cut
Oh.
it in half.
Isn't it where they stuck like an ice pick in your brain?
No, they separate the left.
Hold
from the right.
on.
Jesus
Hold on, guys.
Everybody's got a
Let's figure this
No,
out.
a lobotomy is where they separate the left side of your brain from the right side of the brain. They use it for people that have seizures. So-
Which comes with its own troubles.
yeah, they can't like
Can't connect the two sides.
they can
Yeah.
like
Can't
see something
communicate.
and not say what it is, but they could draw it. We've watched a documentary on it. in
Yeah,
psychology.
and they
It's
can
really cool.
draw independently each of their hands and stuff. Very interesting.
It's pretty cool.
That'd be interesting. Huh. Ow. How many?
Oh, I was looking up lobotomy.
It's called a hysterectomy. There you go.
Hysterectomy.
Yeah, that's when they remove the uterus.
Does the baby or the mom always die when they have to do that, though?
No.
Doubt it.
Nope. They don't always have to
Jeez.
die. I know
So-
of multiple people who have had it happen. They had a hysterectomy because they were bleeding too much or whatever, and then then they survived after. Like there's a lot of bleeding involved, from what I understand, but yeah,
Huh.
brutal. That'd be rough.
That'd be brutal. Did you know? Fun, completely off topic.
All right.
But if you give vets or homeless people a place to live, then the government will give you guaranteed paycheck every month.
Really?
Did not know.
It's like rental properties, but guaranteed.
I don't know that I'd want to do that.
No, because the homeless won't take care of it.
No.
No.
I would
But-
do it for a vet.
But there is it's called Section 8 housing, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Yeah.
For a vet, I would definitely do it. I wouldn't want to do it for homeless people because they don't care.
That's true. A lot of them.
Depending on what
like
their
to be out
situation
there.
is, but that's
Right,
that's
like
not my problem to
voluntary.
vet out. But if the government could give you enough to sustain the property, to upkeep the property, to fix the property, because you're gonna have a lot of extra expenses in that, then I could see myself doing it. I mean,
I don't know.
okay.
I think it'd be
I
cool.
feel like a lot of homeless people, depending on their character, would. Because a lot of people aren't homeless just because they're lazy. It's just...
No, it's because they want to.
Well, yeah.
No, a
They-
lot of
they-
them had a shitty deal.
Well, no,
You know
they've
what I mean?
done studies on it, like interviewing a shit ton of homeless people, and they say I would like to be out here because they don't have any responsibilities.
Tim Pool talks about that too. He said he advocated and went like to homeless people and stuff, and he said most of them just said no, they didn't want a place to stay.
I'm sure some of them do, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, but a lot of them are either they don't want to live anywhere, or they're drug addicts. They can't find a stable place, things like that. It's not the kind of people you'd want in a rental property unless you're receiving excess payment from the government for that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's called Section 8 housing.
That's good to know.
Do that. Yeah. And a lot of people do that and make good money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad idea.
We're going controversial. What do you guys think about the death penalty?
Support.
I
Agreed.
support it.
So I did support it, but I was listening to Tim Pool talk about this,
Okay.
and the reason he doesn't support the death penalty, not because he doesn't think they should die, but because he never wants to give the government the right to kill somebody.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And it
Okay.
changed my mind.
All right.
I was like, yeah, because he said, if I seen someone doing something bad, I'd shoot him, I'd kill him. It's no issue, nothing on me. But I don't trust the government to convict anybody or give them the right to kill
I can
anybody.
agree, yeah.
And 10 minutes to change my mind on that.
See
That's
how many
true, 'cause they
people
do-
are in jail for stupid ass reasons.
How many people have died that shouldn't have?
How many
Yeah,
innocent
innocent
people have
people.
died that shouldn't
Yeah.
have? Yeah.
Oh.
Better let 10 guilty people go than one innocent person suffer unjustly,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? Because eventually those guilty people will get their dues,
Yeah,
one
that
way or another.
Definitely was a change. 'Cause
You know
it's
what,
like,
Bess?
holy-
I think you're fucking right on that.
I agree.
Damn it,
agree.
ass.
Yeah.
That's because I was all my life.
I'm a
pro
gutless
death
flip
penalty.
flopper.
Well, we're more strongly convinced that the government is bad. Than other things.
Did you know that this is talking about the guilty or not guilty innocent? The guy who runs the show, The World's Toughest Prisons, he got convicted, I think it was for murder, and he spent 12 years in prison, and he was innocent. And now he goes and does The World's Toughest Prison show.
There's a lot of people like that.
What do you do with that? Like, oh yeah, we just wasted 12 years of your life. Sorry.
They probably give you $1 million per year that you were in.
I've
I
heard
would-
some of them don't
I would
get
have
any
to.
compensation.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that you get compensation.
I think I'd become a violent person.
You'd become a convict.
Yeah, the minute I get out. Peace and love, of course.
Well, at that point, you just sue the prison or whoever put you in falsely or whatever, and I'm sure you'd get some sort of compensation back that way.
Just sue everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Prison reform. I think we need that desperately.
I agree.
It's bad.
Yeah, question is, how do we make it better? A lot of it's privatized right now. They've
That's-
got quotas. They've got to fill beds to make money from
That's
whoever.
One thing that I
So,
don't
like-
think is good privatized.
I'll tell you how they could fix it. Step one is legalize all drugs. The majority of the people that are in prison because of drugs.
My opinion, that's a solid start. It'd be bad for a little bit, but then it would settle down.
I agree. It would be
stop
rough.
The
And,
cartels. It would stop so much shit.
yeah.
It would help people get off of drugs. Like, it would do everything that's good. And then it would probably cut the prison by like half, if not more.
Honestly, it would stop a lot of kids from doing drugs in the first place because people do it. A lot of kids do it just to rebel and because it's taboo and like, oh, they
Yeah.
don't want me to do this, so I'm
To
going to do it.
experiment, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if it was legal, I think people wouldn't hide it so much, and seeing a crackhead is a huge deterrent.
Yeah.
Seeing
big
someone
turn-off.
needles in them and all.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
way
want to
that
be
drugs
around
do it.
crackheads.
No.
Fuck no.
Take them downtown for their field trip. Let's check out the crack house.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it would create a lot of division, but we've already got that. Like, you've got the poorer areas, and there's like, no shit, they're poor areas because everybody's doing drugs here.
Yeah.
And that would happen a lot more because it'll, segregate the people who don't do drugs or use drugs in a way to where it doesn't control their life.
Yeah, but you'd also have more facilities, I think, for, like, you'd feel less shitty about telling your family that you're trying to get off drugs.
Oh, yeah. And it wouldn't ruin your life if somebody caught you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They make it so, like, the justice system is so fucked. If you make a mistake and you're even trying to do better, they will make it so hard for you to get to work, to actually try to be a better human being. Like, they fuck you over.
Because they want you in the system for money.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
I heard a great quote. I don't know who it was from, but they're saying nothing from the government is free, and if it is, it's probably you. I love
Oof.
that quote.
That is powerful.
It's
But
Say that quote one more time for the people in the back.
nothing in the government is free, and if it is, it's probably you.
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know how else we could fix The prisons, I guess, definitely don't make it privatized because from like listening to ex-prisoners, I listen to them a lot. I think it's interesting, but they say that state is way worse than federal.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Privatized ones also, they're demanding. I've seen it a couple of times. They're demanding more prisoners, or they'll shut down the prison. That's foul, if you ask me. That's terrible.
Yeah, there's quotas, bro.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You got to get. Yeah, it makes sense from a business standpoint, but obviously this is not something
Like,
we want
morally
to
and
be
socially,
profitable.
Justice is not a business.
Correct.
It should not be a business. Don't cops get paid to like pull people over and stuff? They have to hit a certain
To
amount.
reach a quota.
Yeah, they had quotas for a long time. I know they did a lot of action against having quotas, but you're still going to have quotas. You got to make
Just-
money still.
Yeah, but that's so fucked. Like, I'm going to go
non-official.
look for people that are fucking up, and if I can't make it, then I'm just going to pull someone over who's barely speeding just because I got to make my quota. Like, go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's some bullshit. You should be out there looking for
Actual criminals.
rapists and murderers, not people speeding a little bit.
Yeah, protect
Person.
and serve,
Yeah.
not be a piece of shit.
Yeah, we need to have Rod back on and talk all about that because he was working on
be
getting
interesting.
back into the police force, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to him about like, are there quotas? Are there? I don't know if he could actually talk about a lot of that stuff, but
I don't quotas. I know. Yeah, like you said, they had a lot of like lawsuits about them. I don't know if
Yeah.
they can still do it.
right, and it wouldn't be an official quota, but you still got to push because they still need to have a certain number of tickets or whatever to even justify being a department to get
Right.
funding from the government. So you'd have to.
Mm-hmm. They
Yeah.
they need to let like cameras.
Defund the police.
Yeah, sure. But they need to
No.
let cameras and everything inside the prisons because they won't allow that in America. The majority of the places, like YouTubers and stuff that try and go and document, like inside the prison, they don't allow it.
Everything
Really?
should be videoed
It should be able
if
to
you're
be
in a
videoed.
public domain.
Yep.
But it's not public. That's the
It's
problem.
public.
Yeah, but they treat them like fucking animals. Like Larry
Yeah.
Lawton, he's the biggest jewel thief in America, whatever.
Mhm.
He was strapped down naked, beaten, and then pissed on by the guards.
Fucking hell.
It's
What the fuck?
horrendous.
Who hired these fucking people?
Exactly. I mean,
Well, they say those jobs attract the worst kind of people, anyways.
Yeah, because it's a power trip.
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna say it's just like the Nazis, just power tripping. Because there's no
Well,
if there is a bad case in the prison, who investigates the prison? People that work at the fucking prison.
That's true.
So
There's
who
no
cares?
accountability.
There's no accountability.
I don't think Nazis it was a power trip though. Not for like the
Absolutely, it was.
well, the bit higher ups, yeah, but like the regular soldiers, they were just following orders.
No, it's the regular soldiers
that.
are like the current day police. They don't have to fucking enforce this shit, but they do because they like it. Because they like the
All
power.
of them though.
We had the good people quit.
The Nazis.
No.
Nazis and the police.
In our country, we had the good.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of the good
yeah.
police quit. It was like, yeah, I don't stand for this. I'm leaving.
I'm also of the mind you always have the choice on whether or not to do it.
Always.
It may make horrendous, but
There's
it's-
always 12 choices in every scenario minimum. That's a fact.
I have heard that before.
Yes. And then once all the good cops are gone, or all the good Germans are gone, then all the bad ones that want more power fucking step right up, and that's exactly what's happening. That's why that pastor was arrested 3 times in Canada for his fucking vaccine bullshit. Or the mask bullshit. It's just a bunch of police that want power.
yeah.
So yeah, defund the fucking police. Get them going. Let's see what happens. And then all the good people will step back up. Defund the
Because
police.
then we'll have militias. We'll have state authorities. Imagine you've got authorities in one community and authorities in another community. They clash, or someone goes and steals from another community. How do they enforce that?
That's what I'm saying. It would get so fucking bad that police would come back.
It would be literal anarchy.
Okay.
Police
Let it
police
be.
wouldn't come back because we defunded them.
There wouldn't be police.
It would be militias.
That's
It
why
would
they
be
would come
civil
back.
war between provinces.
It's already coming to that, dude.
I'm a fan of sheriffs and not police. sheriffs are a lot like more local. They live in the communities they serve. They have a bigger area to patrol. It's only a couple people.
I like
it
that
better.
Yeah,
idea.
but sheriffs can't like
Well, it wouldn't work for a big city.
investigate crimes. Yeah.
It wouldn't work for a big city, but it would work for more rural areas, like where we live.
You
Like,
definitely need someone to enforce the people's rights, but there needs to be
Plus-
some sort of
the
There
sheriff,
needs to be
Revamp.
accountability.
Yeah,
and
the
there's
sheriffs
not.
are elected as well. County
that's
sheriff and
cool.
stuff.
I would like, yeah. What if we elected our police?
That would be such a cool idea.
It would be
Mm-hmm.
too much involvement, I think.
It would be
I
a
think
lot.
It'd be cool, but for most people, I think it would be too much government or like involvement in your
Bro, you get a ping on your phone. I mean, we're all fucking connected anyway. Ping on your phone. Hey, you've got X options for a police officer in your city. What would you like?
You know who talks about this? Ian
Yeah.
talks about using voting, but you each get a crypto coin, and basically you give the coin to the person you want. That way, it's all I don't know. You can't make more coins.
Decentralized and
Uh-huh.
all that.
I don't know.
It is an
exactly,
interesting
but it was
idea. He's got a hard on for the crypto decentralized
bad.
shit.
I like listening to him.
Yeah, he's got some whack ass ideas, but very interesting.
You're right though. If they did defund it, and the militias were created, that would just create parallel economies, which would be
Straight up civil war. Yeah.
yeah. But
Would it be
again, that
tribal?
is happening. Parallel economies is already happening.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is if we break up into such small groups, the weakness of our country is going to increase exponentially. And right now, we can't afford that.
Dude, it's already in 2 groups.
Right. I understand, but imagine a
Two
million
large
groups.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that.
Then what? Then who defends the country? Who does this? Who does that? You know?
Power to the people. It comes back to us.
Right, but under the current law system, we don't have tanks. We don't have defense. We don't have F-35s. You know?
But we could have all that if people just fucking stepped up.
And what's going to happen is those things are going to turn inward on our own country.
Dude, we were already threatened by Joe Biden with fucking jets.
Yes, we were.
Like,
But it hasn't happened. And it's not going to happen if Congress has anything to say about it.
no,
Because Congress
it's not
is elected
Congress,
by
it's
us.
the people. If the people have anything to say about it, because we'll fucking shoot them all.
Congress is an extension of the people. Or it's supposed
a
to be.
good one.
Dude,
It's
it's
supposed
not
to be.
Look, no. Yeah, it's supposed to be, but look
Supposed
at
to
it.
be.
Motherfuckers. I'll get
Look,
pissed.
all I'm saying is I don't think that's the way of defunding the police.
No, reform is better. In fact, even maybe more funding.
Reform,
so they can do
more
training.
funding, more training, more voting. Train them like we train our military. Because they get a couple,
De-escalation,
yeah,
everything.
they get a couple months of training, and then they're sent out with a gun and a taser. Good luck, you know.
Did you know? Yeah,
Fuck.
you're sent more training for hair school than police are for their
Shit.
training to become a cop.
Well, that's what we need.
Cosmetology, I think.
But they would need more funding because police also don't make that much.
Yeah, I agree. More funding, fucking everything about it. It just needs, dude. The whole system needs to be reformed.
Reform.
But
yes.
how are we gonna do that?
Reform the government.
Yes.
And does it need to collapse to be able to reform? Because we're already in too deep.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Um,
We just got to
But
get
it's
the
coming to
right
that.
people in there. I don't think it is. I think it's
Dude.
I think it's escalating way more than people actually like. People in their minds are like civil war, civil war, civil war. No, we've got a great foundation in this country that we can reform by voting in the correct people and getting the correct laws passed. But there has to be a massive reform on who is in the government.
I agree, but there's already too much corruption. Like they call it, the swamp.
Right. You drain the swamp.
Yeah, how are you going to stop that, though? How would you stop that?
I'm not going to stop it by myself. We, the people, stop it, just like you've been saying.
Yeah, but how do we stop it?
We
Civil
vote in
disobedience.
the right people. We have civil disobedience. We have convoys of trucks. You know, we're working on this slowly. We're not going to start rioting, creating anarchy, all this shit.
No.
We still have a massive country that we got to think about.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a civil war or anything like that.
No.
Reform does need to happen.
Yes.
Fucking idiots.
I don't know how it happens. I don't know how reform happens, but it has to happen.
And this is what I'm saying. Even electing the right people, we're in too deep with the corruption. Unless we literally got all new people in the government, all new people with no connections to anybody.
I've heard
It's
this
not
is
going to
a
change.
big issue as well. Getting staffers when you join, like Congress, because they just get the old staffers from the previous administration.
They do every time, yeah.
Uh-huh. So it's been the same people that are around them for 40, 50 years.
And then it's probably their kids.
And
It just
and
doesn't
they're
end.
Just they're influencing and
That's interesting. I
'Cause-
didn't know that.
yeah, I heard they just switch party person to person, whoever needs a person, and
That makes
I heard
sense.
they influence things quite a bit more than you would think.
That would make sense why the swamp continues to get swampier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when we're voting in new people, because it's like,
All the people that aren't elected that still work there and have a big influence.
yeah,
And we should get rid of the military-industrial complex.
To a certain
explain that a
extent.
little bit.
They're just here for war.
Get rid of warmongers.
Yeah, they want to start the war to get money. That's all it is.
Well,
So we need to get rid of that.
that's how a lot of wealth is created in this world.
Through war, yeah, which is not good.
How do you stop that when people are funding full countries?
That's why we need to get rid of it.
How?
How?
The better
Yeah,
idea would be
exactly.
to turn it inwards. Make America not like towards its own people, but just work on defense, like heavily instead of being in other countries. Start fixing our infrastructure, making sure we have energy. Just use
Right.
government or military funds.
And
for
I
that.
loved that about Trump, that he was focusing on that stuff, but also,
I know we can't just outright leave.
yeah, we can't outright leave the whole world. Although, it would be nice if they had a vote whether we came into their country or not.
Yeah,
That's true.
I think we need to leave the whole world.
But it would have to be a
Yeah, but
non-rigged vote.
You leave the whole world, like, then you're the only people. Like, what?
Um,
We
Well,
everybody
tried
else
we
is-
tried
it-
isolationism, and our government got us in World War II.
it doesn't work particularly well, anyways. I don't know. It doesn't. The whole world will gang up on you eventually. I firmly
You're right,
believe
because
that.
China and Russia would take over everything.
I firmly believe that the whole world would gang up on you in some
Yeah.
fashion.
We've got to have our finger in all the
Especially with
pies,
a
but
country
it's
is like America that's so influential. There's no
Yeah.
way the whole world wouldn't end up turning on us
nope.
if we kept all of our interests here and just kept taking their money, basically.
Mm-hmm. There has to be give and take.
Gotta play with the class.
Wait, you said the U.S. government got us in World War II, but also Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, which was the final blow. So you got to explain that a
They
little
knew
bit more.
Japan was coming for Pearl Harbor.
I have heard
Right, I
that
did
before.
heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? FDR. That was who it was, wasn't it?
Also heard with World War
Think
One.
so.
I don't
So
know.
the Lusitania.
Uh-huh.
They planned that one too. So we were severely isolationist before World War One, and then they sent out this boat of people, and tensions are brewing. Whatever they say, stop sinking merchant ships, right? Because we were
Passenger ships, I thought.
because we were shipping, right. Some of them were passenger ships, but they were cargo ships with passengers on them. And so these U-boats kept sinking ships. We're like, hey, you better stop that, Germans. And Germans are like, you're shipping ammunition over to Europe. What the fuck do you want us to do? And so we're like, okay, we sent out flyers and everything. Don't go on the Lusitania, but we sent the Lusitania with ammunitions, and that was the final straw. It got sunk, and we're like, okay, we've got to go to war now.
Also, supposedly, the British guy, what's his name that was in there? Churchill?
Churchill.
Basically told them to come to this area, the Lusitania, where there were supposed to be British ships patrolling, but they
Yep.
weren't there.
Yep.
Ships left.
And guess who was there? U-boats. Bam, bam,
So there's
slam. We're in a world war.
Good chance.
So
that
they kind of
planned
just
that.
poked the bear until they're like, oh, fuck this.
Yeah. Our government just kept allowing it to happen and kept sending cargo ships with people on it that were civilian ships, but they were cargo ships, to that area. Kept getting sunk, and lo and behold. And then World War II, they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. They did not defend Pearl Harbor. They put all the ships in one bay. They didn't defend it. There was rumors that Japan was coming with their ships and everything around, and FDR just fucking turned a blind eye and, oh my shit, we got bombed, you know?
'Cause they fucking
And-
wanted it to happen.
Exactly, and so we got in World War II.
made us the wealthiest nation in the world. But
Who's
so they
Oh.
made us the wealthiest nation in the world.
right? And war pays, but like these things don't happen by accident ever.
Yeah.
You know, there's always some string pulling happening.
Which makes sense because they were trying to do that with Russia and Ukraine. They were doing a setup that was already, I don't know exactly the details, but I think it was Russia that, don't quote me on this, but basically Russia was planning to kill some of their own troops to be like, oh, it was Ukraine, and then really do it. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That all makes sense, and that's probably what will happen with this situation.
Yeah, we discovered that Saudi Arabia had massive oil reserves and all that jazz. Not discovered, but we knew, and we wanted part of it. Oh, lo and behold, shit, we've got a 9/11 happening. Bam, we're over there suddenly in a 20-year war plus trillions of dollars for what? Nobody knows. We've already killed their leaders like multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why the fuck are we still over there? You know, it's things like that. You just follow the money, and then it all makes sense.
Wars that
That's
we never
true,
won because there was no purpose in being there.
Uh-huh.
Because legitimately, if we wanted to win that war, we would have. We would have decimated Iraq. There's too much bombs and shit that we could use. That they don't have. These people that live in sand houses still. Come on, let's be real. If we wanted, we could have decimated them.
Korea, Vietnam, all of it under the guise of fighting communism. We didn't win in either of those countries.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the borders stayed exactly the same as they were when we started. So,
There were wars without any definite end point or goal.
right. But it makes money on both sides
How exactly does it make money?
because there's wealthy investors out there. Well, we'll just say the Rothschilds, for instance.
Mhm.
They're an older family, you know, I think 1700s-ish, and they would fund wars on both sides.
They're
Yeah, like-
such geniuses, dude.
Yeah, right. And they made a lot of blood money, right? So they'd fund wars on both sides, and those governments would be indebted to them and pay them back. And
Also, war spurs innovation like nothing else.
yes, Rockefellers, all of them, just play the game. So, yeah. Conspiracy. Difference between a conspiracy and the truth? About 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just time.
Yeah. Classic meme. But yeah, that's a whole nother fucking rabbit hole. Federal Reserve, all of it, which we've already covered, I think, in another
Yeah,
episode.
we went through
We
that.
could have talked about it a lot more, honest.
Oh, and we probably will once again.
I actually
Sure.
really enjoyed that book.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting.
The
What,
creature from Jekyll Island.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That one was cool.
It's fucked
Yeah,
up.
it's funny how it's called the Federal Reserve and it's a bunch of private banks.
Yeah, it's not even a federal thing.
No, it's not. It's a bunch of federal banks protected by the government now who distribute money to the world.
Thing is, what do you do when you know this like knowledge? Because
Get it out there as best you can.
yeah, I
There's
guess there's
nothing
that.
currently that we can do other
Can't do
than
much.
I
share.
hate that. Bothers me.
I mean, you know, you try to go against this stuff, and anyone with political clout who's tried to go against this stuff, they end up getting suicided
Or silenced.
or
in some way.
silenced. Exactly. So, yeah, shrug of the shoulders. Can't do much.
Keep living, I guess.
Make sure everybody knows.
Yeah, spread it as best you can. Work on getting cryptos out there.
Yeah.
Which the Fed is looking into creating their own cryptocurrency and blockchain.
Of course.
Actively looking into it.
Keep trying to do decentralized. That'll put a kink in their plans.
Right. But like I've said before, and I'll say it again, much like what we had after the Revolutionary War, where each state, each province had its own currency, we've got all these cryptocurrencies floating around. The Fed made one currency and said everything else is illegal, and I'll bet you that happens with crypto as well.
Oh, for sure. But
They can't
But
stop
will it stop it? No,
don't think
because
so.
They can't.
because everybody's decentralized wallets will still exist, and you can still trade in crypto.
and it's so mainstream now to own crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet a very small portion of the world actually owns crypto,
Yeah.
which is very interesting. But anyway, yeah. it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming years
Yeah.
as we grow into our adulthood. You know, by the time we're 30, the world's gonna look entirely different.
Oh yeah.
Borders are gonna be different. Maps that our children are being taught are gonna be different. Everything.
10 years will change like things so drastically. It's crazy.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
with that, boys, I think that was a good podcast.
I liked it.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Toodles.